I would really like to see Munster do well, you know. This is going to give you an opportunity where you got to accelerate as much as you can.
Fantastic, sell out the oval, it could a gigantic, and after match we are gonna have a party on the pitch. It's 2020. All for the ready. Come on. Are you ready? I say cricket one time. It's time to party. Suit up for four, make you run up the scores all night. It's 2020. This a new spin. Come on. Are you ready? So let the battle begin.
The smaller teams have got a very good chance of winning.
Just we need to go out there and get the job done for our country.
They're very keyed up and ready to go. Any team could win.
Who play the better cricket at the end of the day, they will come out successful, they will win.
I know that my team is the best and we're going to win this competition.
Sing! Let the battle begin! It's 2020. This a new spin. Are you ready? So let the battle begin. It's a revolution, make us start the revolution tonight. It's 2020. All for the ready. 2020.
It's the opening of the Stanford 2020 cricket tournament, and we're live from Antigua, live from the Stanford cricket ground. It's the first match, St Maarten versus the US Virgin Islands. What a wonderful opportunity this is, the first Pan-Caribbean tournament of its kind involving 19 countries playing for a prize of $1 million. Sticky Wicket Pub, just on the periphery of this wonderful ground here, situated alongside the international airport, and it's bright sunshine for the start of the tournament. Hello and welcome to what we hope will be an exciting time for this Stanford 2020 tournament. It's been a tournament that has seen 19 countries, overseen by 14 cricketing legends from the West Indies, and one of those cricketing legends is alongside me at the moment. Courtney Walsh, welcome. 132 test matches, 519 test match wickets. Hello to you.
Thank you, Ian. Very nice to be here, and what an occasion.
Yeah, what an occasion. What is the importance of this tournament for the region?
I think it's the first time the region has seen anything of this nature, of this kind, and I think just for the teams being here, you can see the vibes and the enthusiasm with them being here. I think this could be the start of what we need to generate a lot of interest back into cricket in the region. What
is the importance, I suppose, for young players, new players, the exposure that they can be given through this tournament?
This has never happened before. You have so many cricketers on show on parade, because most teams used to play as a combined team. Now we've got 19 territories vying for a prize that is very massive, and also the exposure that they're getting. Every territory is fielding 13 players. I mean, that exposure in itself is second to none.
Alan, Stanford has invested a significant amount of money into this tournament. Does that excite you?
That does excite me. I overheard some guys saying that back in the 80s or 90s, when their team was playing, this would be a show win for them. I'm sure that these guys are thinking that way today. And just for the prize, the money that he has invested is enough to come here to put on a very good show.
Thank you very much for your thoughts, Courtney. We'll leave it there for the moment. Well, speaking of those 14 legends, I'm just a baby in the bunch, but a great one is downstairs, and he's talking to Tony Cozier.
Yes, Bish, I'm here with one of the legends, Wes Hall, the pace-like fire fast bowler of the 1960s, a former president of the West Indies Cricket Board, a selector, a manager, and now a legend of Stanford 2020 cricket. And it really is an exciting development, Wes.
Yeah, this is really fascinating, Tony. I think this is a situation where you have to look at the positives and let's accentuate them. You know, there's so many great positives, the amount of youngsters that never would have played at all. We're just hoping that we can get another Ramadan in the 50s, or another Wes Hall in the late 50s. Someone who's completely unknown and then hits the big time in a matter of 3 or 4 months. This is fantastic, you know. Everything is going to be good. We came here 10 months ago with just a vision of Alan Stanford, but then he decided that he would solicit the help of 14 legends who have some great cricketing acumen, you know, and together I think we've done some really great things. All these innovations, I think the public will like them, and it's going to be augur well for cricket.
19 different countries, Cayman Islands, Bahamas, British Virgin Islands. You mention a Ramadan, you mention a Wes Hall. Who knows, they may come from the Caymans or from Tortola or somewhere.
Yeah, I tell you something, Tony. I believe that, you know, some of these young, new teams, some of them will get very far. They haven't got a thing to lose, you know. They're in it, this one-shot thing, and they will surprise a lot of people. I was very impressed with the youngsters from those islands that we haven't been accustomed, you know, to seeing. And they're so anxious to play. They're so happy to meet the legends. They're so great to be playing on the lights. And they just, you know, want to come out of their cocoons and meet the big time. I think this is fantastic. I really do. I think this is really the greatest metamorphosis since the caterpillar became a butterfly.
Wes Hall, thank you very much. A typical analogy.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of Wes Hall. Well, amongst those Sir Everton Weeks and Sir Garfield Sobers, a number of other legends as well. Courtney Walsh is still alongside me. Courtney, so many legends, but let's talk a little bit about the prize money as well. $1 million US goes to the winner of the tournament.
I think he came a little bit too late, but that alone in itself should get you pumped up to want to do a good job. I mean, when you look at it, 1,000 euros for the winner, 200,000 for the cricketing board that produced the winner. So there's something in it for everyone, and that alone in itself should have everyone excited.
And there's some great individual prizes as well for the individual members. A man of the match in the final match is £100.
100,000 for the player of the match in the final match. Man of the match in qualifying match is 25,000 US, and this is all US dollars, 10,000. I mean, that's a lot of money you're talking about there.
It is a lot of money indeed. So today's match, the opening match of the tournament, it is the USVI and St Maarten, and the USVI just about 1,100 miles off Miami. And St Maarten has been hosting first-class cricket in the Caribbean, governed by the Dutch and the French, and it should be an exciting encounter. Well, let's talk about the pitch, because the ground is a fantastic facility. Andy Roberts is with Mike Haseman.
Thanks, Bish. Now, before we go any further, I've seen some cricket grounds in my time, but this ground is absolutely remarkable. We're going to have a special occasion, the first of the Standard 2020, and I'm speaking to the man who was very involved in the start of this ground, right from the start. Andy Roberts alongside me. Andy, you started when at this ground?
1998, 99, from the inception. I've been around. What we're looking at here is an entirely new facility. We had it remodeled in February. Well drained. I think this will probably be the best cricket ground as far as drainage is concerned. We relay the pitch, so what you're looking at here is an entirely new cricket pitch, and we're hoping that, you know, this will be the perfect setting for 2020 cricket.
Okay, now you said it's changed dramatically. How long ago did that start?
The changes started in January, where we came together and they decided that it wasn't draining properly, because once we started to play, it rained, then it would take us a long time. So Mr. Stanford said he wants nothing of that. He wants to have a cricket pitch, cricket field, where rain cannot interfere. Once the rain stops, we must be out. Hence, we brought some people in. Gregory, a French contractor, came in. I think the method he used is the method he used on golf course. Stones at the bottom, sand at the top. Okay. So it's entirely new facilities we're looking at here.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the track, Andy. I mean, one of the great West Indian legends, of course. Andy, can those knees still get down here?
Oh, well, the knees are giving me some problems. Yeah.
But let's have a look. I mean, a few people are saying already that this track, it looks terrific. There's not any grass at all. It's perfect for one-day cricket, and particularly the shortened version. But people are saying this sheen, it's got that Sabina Park look at it from years ago.
Yes, it's Sabina Park and also Anguilla. I think Anguilla is noted in the Caribbean to have the most bounciest of pitches, and it's the same sheen. I think we use the same method here. What we do in preparation, we roll it, then we get a plastic, lay the plastic on the surface with a little bit of moisture in it, and roll it until it's hard. Once you take the plastic off, then you continue to roll it, hence the sheen appears.
Okay, well, whoever wins the toss, what do you reckon they should do in these sort of conditions, Andy?
In 2020, I win the toss, I will bat first.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect. It's not. It may slide on. I don't think it's going to bounce as much as I would like to, and hence maybe another couple of months of sunshine and preparation, you'll get more bounce. But I think it's going to come on to the bat.
Okay. All right, terrific, Andy. Thanks for your time and congratulations. It looks absolutely perfect for this game. Well done.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah.
Thank you. So bright sunshine here at the Stanford Cricket Stadium, and we're ready to go for this opening encounter. Both teams in the middle and getting done. USVI have won the toss and have elected to bat first. And they will have an interesting lineup, but the player that stands out to me certainly is John Eugene, who has played well in first-class cricket in the 90s. Didn't quite make it to the level that he would want, but he's an exciting prospect. Stephen Evans as well, Larry Baptiste, Parsram Singh, and all of that will be exciting. Hamish Anthony there for the USVI will be very, very exciting. A man who's played international cricket for the West Indies. So it's a keen contest ready to go. And we're all ready as the bell goes, signaling what should be the start of the first match in this Stanford 2020 tournament. So Vivian Richards making his way off the field. Mr. Alan Stanford on his left, who's just, I suppose, bowled, you could say, the first delivery theoretically. So with the opening batsmen making their way out to the middle, we'll go straight down to the commentary box where Pat Simcox is waiting.
Thank you, Bish. Well, a momentous occasion indeed, not only to the Caribbean, but the entire cricketing world. No doubt it's going to create a lot of interest. The stakes are exceptionally high. An elimination knockout tournament with plenty of cash up for grabs. Now, that's the opening batsman. And they'll be bowling from the end called the Pavilion Restaurant end. And the wind will be coming just over his shoulder, bringing the ball into the right-hander. That's Webb. He's 37 years old, and I can tell you what, going around in his stomach will be a couple of butterflies. They won't be flying in formation just yet. We've got orange balls, black bats, it's all go. That's Lesmond, and as you see, no runs as yet in this kind of competition, 2020. But what an occasion. The legends all around, a beautiful setting, as good as you'll see anywhere in the world. And number 69. That is the man that's going to be running in. And we saw Mike Hazen with the pitch. And it looks an absolute belter. Full of runs. And the scene is set. Around the wicket. There's a left armour coming over the wicket then. And it's all set. Slip in place. Just one of them. Man on the drive. Extra cover. And the first ball. Straight away, oh, there's an appeal, there's a chance of a run out. He's held it back. Well, straight away off the mark. And a leg by, they start off the first ball. Well, all action. He'll be feeling better getting to the other end, there's no doubt about that. Field is moving all over the place, just getting the field right. A bit of planning that's gone on. And suddenly left-handers walked into bat. The left-arm bowler had one slip in place. Lots of men in the ring. It's all about fours and sixes and getting on. And lots of singles if you can. Right. The black bat. Here we go. Now it should be called a wide. It is. You saw the bounce just a little bit low. Didn't carry all the way to the wicketkeeper. Joining me now in the commentary box, has been doing a lot of work today, he's sweating. Ian Bishop. Bish, what an occasion. You've called it all just before, but man, you can just sense the excitement amongst the players, the commentary, the legends, and everything that's gone with it.
Yeah, hello to everyone. Hello to you, Pat. Alderman Lesman has played first-class cricket for the Leeward Islands over the last season. Another wide is delivered. The interesting thing that Courtney Walsh said, he's the legend for the USVI, is that they said a prayer just before they came onto the field, and one or two players started crying, such as the intensity and the enjoyment factor that is going to be exhibited out there in the middle.
I can imagine what it feels like. We all, I guess, sense that this occasion, Stanford 2020, is about to ignite a flame that the cricket world has been waiting for. Well, another wide. It's the last thing you want in a shortened game. Extra balls, and come the end, it really costs you. Lesman just having a good look. So far the bounce hasn't been we thought it would be. Just a little bit on the low side. Batsman looked to get forward early on. Standing out of the crease just a little bit at the moment. Looking for a quick single. You'll have to hurry if he hits. He's gone. Oh, that was an opportunity that's gone a begging.
You'll expect a lot of nerves at the start of this tournament. Both teams really trying to expose themselves to the wider community, wider cricketing community. Lionel Richie is the fielder who tried to throw them the stumps at the non-striker's end.
They'll run away. That's the first boundary, the very first boundary of the Stanford 2020. What an occasion that as well.
Something that will be remembered. Struggling with this line really. Brutus on leg stump, struggling against left-hand, right-hand combination. Quite an innovative field with no fine leg really for the right-handed batsman. And with the bowler struggling, offering the first boundary. And no doubt we'll see quite a few more boundaries as this tournament progresses.
It's prompted a field change. The fine leg's gone back. Well taken down the leg side. Tell you what, and swung a little bit as well.
It'll be a memorable over, I'll tell you. It's one Brutus will never forget.
It's going to be a long one.
4 wides already in the over.
He's bowling. Clean bowling. Straight between bat and pad. He pushed forward, didn't get a long way forward and played across it. And the first wicket, well, Brutus has got his man.
Well, what an over it is. 4 wides. Tickled forward to fine leg. Brutus has got one on target and it's swung again. It's swung in to Webb and Webb just could not handle the movement and the excitement on the face of Brutus. Just look at it. Very reasonable seam position. Just came back in and the batsman all at sea. Literally excitement for Brutus.
Well, I think you called it, Bish. The excitement and the nerves. Both bat and ball. Never easy. So 10 for 1, the first batsman goes. That's the new man in, he's the captain. Well, he's got some work to do, 10 for 1. When you arrive at the crease, you've got some work to do. You want to just make sure you steady the ship, get it back online, Bish.
The thing about 2020 cricket that I've noticed is that, you know, it's still time to get yourself in and get accustomed to the surface for an over or two. Everyone will be keen. Huggins negotiates his first delivery. Another spot on. Full length delivery from Brutus. It is pretty warm in the middle out there. Once again, lovely length to that delivery that dismissed Webb. First boundary and the first man to hit the stumps as well.
Site of this fantastic cricket ground that's been put together by Mr. Stanford to make sure that this tournament kicks off in the spirit it has. And I can tell you, sitting in this commentary box, it's as good a sight as you'll see anywhere in the world. The flags around, a lovely clubhouse, there's a beautiful pool, the big screen's up, and just look at the greenness and just a good cricket field. There's no doubt that every single player that's arrived at this ground feels it's a place to play. All right, second over. We've got spin. Lionel Richie is an off spinner.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. And clipped away. That's 4. First ball. Now again, there'll be a tension in the arms.
And hello to Lionel Richie again. First ball, a boundary.
I tell you what, he's an electrician by trade. Not an electrical start, that's for sure.
It's a lovely shot, lovely piece of timing.
Right, silly point, or should I say it's a man on the drive, he's pretty close. Well, he's played across, it's just an ask. And now they take the single. That's poor, that's sloppy.
Of course, one of the things that we've got to look out for during the day is the play of the game. There's about $10,000 on hand. That is not the play of the game. I hope it won't be. There'll be better moments than this. But all the nerves will be on show. Black bats as well is a new innovation. They're authentic cricket bats, just painted.
Nudged away, another single. Interested to see if there's any spin there. There's a sheen to the top of the pitch. It looks like it's not going to spin early on. Maybe just a little bit there, Vish.
Good stuff, boy. Good stuff, boy.
So often we see the slower bowlers just able to chain the opening batsman. You've got to get used to the pace. Lesman just right now playing around the front pad a little bit. Well, a big appeal, a big ask. Maybe going down leg side. End of a good over. 16 for 1.
WOQ towards the end of the previous over. Let's have a look at how close it was. Well, that looked pretty close to me.
Spoken like a true bowler. Yeah, it did, certainly. It was an ask, but it wasn't a huge ask. The bowler scuttled around and was interested in picking the ball up. Right, so 16 for 1, and Brutus will take up the challenge again. Over the wicket he is. So close, gone under the bat. It could easily have got the inside edge. Had he got an inside edge, he would have cannoned into the stumps for sure. Seems to have found his line now. A little bit of swing that there is. It's coming with the wind.
I think the thing to remember, Pat, is that most of these players, you're talking about two countries, USVI, who are probably more famous for their golf, the diving, the harbors in that part of the world. 1,100 miles off Miami, and St Maarten, I suppose, who've just started to host first-class cricket in the Caribbean over the last couple of seasons. A lot of these players are not accustomed to this sort of exposure. They will be nervous.
Well, I guess it's the same thing as if you and I were playing golf for a lot of cash. Can you imagine standing over a putt for the amount of money they're playing for? And all of a sudden, when you put real amateurs and you thrust them into the limelight of a big tournament, televised worldwide, put a lot of money up for grabs and a lot of prestige involved with it, you're going to get a lot of nervousness. There's no doubt about it. Clipped away, just be the single.
And for the first 6 overs of these 2020 matches, only 2 fielders are allowed outside of the demarcated inner circle, and you must have 2 stationary fielders, 2 catching fielders. One of the fielders at the moment is at a short extra cover position, the other one is at slip.
quick single. Good fielding. Speaking about the actual ground itself, the outfield is pretty good. Easy pick up. Well, I think he'd have made it just before start of play. Bish walked around and had a look at the fantastic facilities that have existed. Yeah, I mean, you've got a clubhouse that is out of this cricketing world. I mean, it's just spectacular. Down leg side, and it's rolled. Now, finally, you need to get around. He won't cut it off. It's 4 more, 4 byes.
3 overs gone, 23 for 1. Lack of bounce, really just allowing 4 byes to go through. But you talk about a wonderful facility here at the Stanford Cricket Ground. We're just alongside adjacent to the International Airport. There's an athletic club just off the boundary edge here with a swimming pool, a lovely gymnasium, eating facilities, restaurant facilities, and completely on the opposite side of the ground from the athletic outlet that we're seeing at the moment is a sticky wicket club. Lionel Richie continues.
Yeah, that sticky wicket restaurant and the club. Just past the outside edge, and in there are all the pictures of the legends of the game in this area. Off the back foot, just placed past the man. So far, Lionel Richie doing pretty well.
Gets a wicket, he'll be dancing on the ceiling tonight.
What was that?
Another single taken, good delivery.
It's really stump-to-stump bowling. The thing to remember, I have found, and you probably as knowledgeable as anyone with the Pro 20 Cricket League in South Africa, just a different name, same format, is spinners do play a part in the short version of the game. They take the pace off the ball. Batsmen have to generate their own pace on the ball, and therefore the risks are increased.
That's nicely placed. A look for 2. Really shouldn't get it. Nicely weighted the shot. 2 more to the total. Yeah, you often see that the spinners take the pace off the ball, and often they're bowling to batsmen up at the top of the order who more used to the ball coming on. That's why they bat up there, and so you put them in foreign territory. Singles coming at will now. And the end of 4 overs, 28 for 1. You'd be happy with that. This is the last run. No doubt that he was there. Now we've got some fantastic innovations, and one of them on the boundary is Mike Haseman. We wonder what he's up to.
Thank you, Patrick. Yes, I've got one of the men who's aligned with St Maarten's, actually. Gordon Greenwich alongside me. Gordon, before we do go any further, I reckon you might have enjoyed this format.
Perhaps I would have. Yes, perhaps thinking of it, looking back on this whole scenario here, thinking that maybe it might have been best to open with a Masters match.
No time to let the bowler settle down, just attack straight away.
Well, not necessarily, no. Just because it's a 20-20 game, it doesn't mean that you have to just go there and just hit every ball to the boundary. You can pace yourself very well. 120 balls, at least 120 runs you can get out of this game here, and a few 4s you can get a lot more. So it's you still got to apply sensible batting.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that a bit, because a lot of people think this is just a bit of a slogfest. It's definitely not the case. You've got to play proper cricket shots, don't you?
That's correct, yes. I mean, limited overs doesn't mean that you just have to go there and hit every ball to the boundary. I mean, you've got to be sensible in what you do. And I think that you need to gauge things better as well, and that perhaps what helps to create better batsmanship.
Okay, let's nice shot on the leg side. And that looks like one of those boundaries, which you were talking about, a runner ball, basically 120 boundaries like that certainly helps the occasion.
It certainly does. You know, I think having actually sort of batting first on this pitch here, me opening a match between USVI and St Maarten. I think those two things feel very lucky to be part of this competition. When they look back on this competition here a few years from now, they'll be feeling that we're the ones who opened this competition. Both of them be trying very hard, very keen to win the match, and they've got to be very sensible about it. This is perhaps the biggest stage they would have played on.
And the conditions are absolutely ideal, Gigi. I mean, it's a little bit warm though, isn't it? But perfect for cricket.
Slightly warm, yes. I'm not sure if it was this hot when I used to play.
Gigi, thanks for your time and good luck to your team.
Thanks a lot. Yes, I think they need it.
Well, all smiles there. It is pretty warm out there, that I can tell you. And Roy Richardson bowled 2 balls. One of them's a wide. You want to get it straight. Just feel a little bit of pressure as the new bowler. That's better. It's a good shot. Quick single taken. Man on the edge of the circle. Decent crowd that's started to roll in. No doubt they'll gather as the day goes on and as the tournament goes on. Nice and relaxed place to sit and watch the game from. That's the Athletic Club. Another single off the edge of the bat.
In addition to everything that we've seen, we've got some big screens here at the ground as well. They double as scoreboards, but I tell you what, I've seen some actual live pictures being shown on them, and once this tournament is over, I'll be putting in my request to have them in my living room because the clarity on these screens are outstanding. 2 of them. And Roy Richardson, the bowler, is the only player born in St Maarten. All the rest have been players that have been born outside and migrated to St Maarten.
Yeah, I was talking to him early on, and he was born there, but his family not from there originally. Yeah, from Dominica, so born there, and no doubt he'll want to get some wickets for them. I think a pitched outside leg, he'll have to hurry, he'll make it now. They've certainly cottoned on to the quick singles, there's no doubt about that. They've pushed it well and run well. They haven't wasted any deliveries, and it's funny in this 2020 competition, the happy hour comes around pretty quickly. We're into the 5th over, and it's getting to the point where you know you're not going to get bowled out, so hold on tight bowlers, here we come. It's got to be getting to that position pretty soon. Just pitching on line, wow, marginal. Well, there you go. That's the start of it, I reckon. Yeah, tag down. Now look for 3. Just get the 2. That's good fielding. Good fielding. Strong arm. Ends the over. 39 for 1 and 5 gone.
Score USVI 39 with the loss of 1 wicket. Mr. Terence.
A little chat in the middle, no doubt that it's all about, listen, 5 overs gone, Bish. And it's time. It's the batting card.
And they talked about really getting to about 160 is where the captain, Alderman Lesman, spoke about his team getting to about 160 is where they want to be. Hamish Anthony, a former West Indies all-rounder who toured England in 1991 with the West Indies team, coming in at number 8 in the order, hard-hitting batsman, but it's Lionel Richie again. It's high in the air, and Lionel Richie may be dancing tonight if this is taken. It's dropped. Trocard, the wicket keeper. Well, there'll be no dancing.
Well, he lists himself as an exterminator. That's what he does for a living, and I tell you what, he feels like exterminating himself right now. It's gone all the way, and Lionel Richie will be singing "My Exterminator's Dropped One." What an opportunity. just mixing his pace up a little bit, is Lionel Richie.
How is that?
You get a good sighting of this orange ball, another new innovation for this tournament. And he steadies himself. It's never easy when the ball is going over your shoulder. You have to run back. It's about getting in position early. He wasn't settled under it very early.
How is that?
Well, I want to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt there. I'll tell you why. There was a lot of wind, and the breeze was always taking the ball away from him. And you just, if you look at the way the flags are blowing, they're blowing hard. Well, now has he got his man? Has he redeemed himself? There's a big appeal. Bails are off. They've asked for the question, and I reckon he's gone. I reckon it's a good stumping.
Austin Christopher is the television umpire who will be called upon to adjudicate. Now, Trocard missed a chance early on. Now, that just might be out. I think the foot might have been in front of the line and then moved back after the bails were removed. Let's have a better look. This will be definitive. Yeah, I think that's gone.
Yeah, he's gone, there's no doubt, Bish. And he's got his man. He certainly feel a lot better after dropping the catch, that I can tell you. He reached out, just got the bails off just in time. And no doubt the call will come. 41 for one. And the decision pending now. What would it be? Well, yep, that's gone. That's the second wicket. 41 for 2. And the keeper's got his man. And Lionel Richie's got a wicket.
Outstanding stuff. It really has been outstanding stuff. An eventful over. Catch was dropped. Lesman is heading back to the dugout. For 10. 41 for 2.
Faced 18 balls. Well, back into the dugout he goes, and there'll be a little bit of chatting about what the track's like. 6 overs bowled, that means the end of the restrictions. So we expect to spread the field a little bit, try and cut out any boundaries. I'm not sure that might be the right way to go to the new man. I would maybe just keep some of the fielders in. Pass from Singh. The left armour.
Come on, skipper, come on, skip. Good start, skipper, good start, skipper. Start, boy. Come on, skip.
When you look again, and these spinners are bowling, they just rush through the overs.
Come on, go. Come on, right.
Down the
Try
ground.
it. Lovely work, boy, lovely work.
Maybe there was an opportunity to squeeze a second run there.
Oh, Walwyn played in the mid-90s, and I played against this guy for the Leeward Islands against Trinidad and Tobago. He's from Nevis.
What was that?
He's obviously moved on, but quite happy to be back. And they're playing a reasonable level of cricket once again. Still looking pretty fit.
As do you. 1995 he played first-class cricket. And 11 years ago.
Too much air, skip, come on.
That's the run rate, 6.3. I want to up that a little bit. And that's good. That's just a little push, just to rotate the strike. No doubt you've had lots of experience, Bish, and understand the game. And normally your number 4 batsman's your key man.
Well, when working in the construction industry in the USVI. Good loud appeal, and there could be a mix-up here. Could be a run-out. No. All sorts of problems at the end of over number 7. But the batsmen survive.
USVI, score 43, Last 2 wickets.
Well, stern words
Second wicket, Lesman.
as they've walked down and had a little chat. That's the batting card. 43 for 2, 7 overs bowled. Like a good stumping by Trocard. Richie doing the job. We haven't seen too much in the track so far, so 43 for 2, you'd expect the batsman right now to step on the gas a little bit. We haven't seen any sixes as yet. And starting the 8th over, as young Bishop leaves. Quick single taken, well, he had a hit, I think, as the big fella leaves, and in moves the Grandmaster, Tony Kazia. Welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Simo. Well, the gentleman who was just left was referring to me as the veteran, the doyen, Grandmaster is a new one. You brought it all the way from South Africa. But I think we need to see a little bit of more aggression. It's after all 20 overs. But they're feeling their way, teams in this competition. Lionel Richie has gone pretty well, as you would expect with a name like that. Close, got to be close. Bad return, giving the keeper all sorts of problems.
I've been impressed with the singles that have been taken. They've nudged it around and understood how important it is to keep rotating the strike, not only just hitting boundaries, making sure you keep the scoreboard going. And we heard some of the legends talking about it before the start of play. You've got to play kind of proper cricket as well, understand the game. Quick single taken again, a little bit of hesitancy, but the men in the ring have got such an important job, and no doubt the rest of the team still to play will be watching with interest as to what kind of strategies are being employed here.
120 if they continue at this rate. You would think that they would certainly accelerate. There have been quite a few warm-up matches before this. $15 runs off Lionel Richie's 4 overs. That's the end of him for the day. 47 for 2 from 8.
47 for 2.
I reckon he's done a good job. You bowled 15 overs in 15 runs in 4 overs in this kind of cricket. You've done exceptionally well. Now, Mike Hazeman's still down out in the sun there. Let's go down to him.
8 overs gone, run rate is dropping a little bit, 2 wickets down. I am spoilt for choice. I've got legends all over the place. I found one in the shadows here. Desmond Haynes, come and have a chat to me. Desi, already in this game, we've seen a couple of things. Slow bowling certainly is effective, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Normally in the 2020 competition, I think that what is expected of the batters is to be pretty smart. I think the main objective is to make sure that you get a run of ball. I think a lot of people, because the overs are only 20, people tend to look at overs instead of balls. And I think that the spinners is going to play a very important part. But I think that in a situation like this, you get in, you try to bat, reasonably positive in the first 10 overs, and then you give it the full whack in the last 10.
So wickets in hand, that's obviously a key.
It's very important, yeah. Wickets in hand is very important, and also because of the field placing, it's very important for you to understand. After the 10 overs, I think with the field spread out a little bit, that there's a possibility that you can get more runs.
I know that Jonty Rhodes, for one, he says that fielding is absolutely crucial and match winning in this format.
Yeah, well, fielding is always very important in any form of cricket that you play. I find that, you can have a reasonable bowling attack, but with some good fielders, it can make your bowling attack look very good. And I think that here is going to be very important with the fielding because, as you can see, this guy, Mr. Stanford, has spent a lot of money in preparing this is a first-class, really, ground to play cricket on, and, it should be very easy for you to score on it.
Okay, Desi, now the situation at the moment, 2 wickets down inside 9 overs. There's a bit of consolidation required here, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I think that what you've got to do is got to keep your wickets intact. And I believe that this is what these guys are doing at the present moment. It's very important to have some batters at the end coming on to the last 5 overs to really give it the full McCoy.
Are you sad that you missed out on the 2020 era?
Well, I'm sad I missed out on the 2020 era in the sense of the benefits of it. I mean, for Desmond Haynes to be playing a competition where the winner can get $1 million, I think I would be training very hard.
Desi, thanks so much for your time. Enjoy the day.
No problem, Mike. Nice to see you in the Caribbean. Cheers, thank you.
Well, I got to tell you, there's a lot of bowlers that are happy that Desmond Haynes is not playing in the 2020 competition, because what a powerful striker of the ball he was, and what an influence he was over many players, certainly down in South Africa. One I can think of, certainly Herschel Gibbs, another one Jacques Callis, in their formative years playing with the great legend Desmond Haynes, and what skill he passed on. It's the wonderful outfield.
Change in bowling, tall off spinner Larry Baptiste is going to come on. A number of names here you'll recognize as West Indian names, having played Test cricket. L. Dean Baptiste, I'm sure viewers will remember. He was from Antigua. This is a Grenadian originally. Baptiste, now playing for St Maarten. Plays for Conquerors. What a great name for any sports team. Not when you get beaten, though. Now, opportunity muffed by the backward point coming in. Urgency and running between the wickets has put pressure on the fielders. He may have just taken his eyes off the ball at the last moment.
Well, just a little bit of bounce. We haven't seen a lot of it. You would have missed out on a wonderful cutting opportunity there. Even an edge would have brought a boundary.
Now they'll have to hurry. They do well taken. Good backing up. And they'll come for a second. Having hit the stumps, the ball is ricocheted. And they've got the extra. There's a strong body of opinion that once the ball has hit the stumps like that, the fielder shouldn't be penalized for his accuracy by giving away an extra, an overthrow. Now that's what you might call an educated edge, and will go all the way. Just. So a boundary very welcome for the US Virgin Islands. First boundary since the 5th over of the innings.
You know, we talked about the running. If you hit the stumps, a lot of bowlers would have feel if you get the edge like that. Really unfair when you get a boundary as well. But a welcome one at this time, going into the 10th over. That's good. That is a good little silky touch. Line off the over, ends the 10th over, so 59 for 2, halfway mark. You'd think they'd get more than 120, 130 now.
Yeah, neat shot. So halfway through. First over from Baptiste. Here's how he went all over the place, in fact. But he did get bunks on. He's tall, and a pitch here which is reminiscent to the legend, certainly, of the old-time Sabina Park pitches in appearance. Not quite as hard as those old-time Sabina Park pitches where you could almost see your image off them. It just shone like glass. This one very similar, but not quite as hard. So lacking the kind of pace which Sabina used to have in the 60s.
Well, batsman Walwyn just trying to work out how he can generate some pace off the ball. Just the lack of it making life a little bit difficult. RBW appeal, pitched on, just outside off stump. You see the keeper following the line. Again, just another single should be the case. Boundaries are what needed, Tony. We need some sixes now. The happy hours come along.
Yeah, no, who's going to provide them? That's the question. One player from St Maarten who did represent the West Indies, Hamish Anthony, big hitting all-rounder. And they'll be looking to him to do the big hitting towards the end of the innings. The thing is, I was mentioning, they've had warm-up matches before this. Teams have played against each other, trying to work things out. A number of teams were dismissed under the 20 overs, trying too hard to get runs. And it looks very much as if they've now decided that they've got to bat the 20 overs and try and accelerate at the end. 11 overs gone, it's 64 for 2. Walman's got 15 and Huggins 23.
64 for 2 with the loss of Lesman and Webb.
That's the bar chart. 64 for 2. Just the 2 red dots there, telling us when the wickets went down, and you see immediately the over after the wicket that goes down, nothing spectacular happened. Back to conservative. Then just a little prod. Someone's got to take the risks here. Belt a big over, an 18, a 20. Just up the score.
Larry, come on, Larry, get one for us, boy.
I know you play a lot of it in South Africa, Simo, and of course in England as well. And you've had individual hundreds. Batsmen have made hundreds in the 20-over competition. Well, this is the early days yet for the West Indies. It's the very first match being played at regional level, a competitive level.
As the teams learn all about this kind of competition, so they'll get better at pushing the bar. And there's no doubt that once they've worked it out, the scores go up quite quickly. Just a game or two and people learn. But right now, it's just a prod here and a prod there. And you're not going to get bowled out in 9 overs. You've somehow got to make good of just having lost 2 wickets. Can't help thinking now's the time.
Well, he's got hold of it, and it's down towards fine leg. It's a bad delivery, and in fact Huggins did well to get hold of it. It was very wide of leg stump and swept away, and gets 4 for it. So welcome boundary, just swiveling around and putting it away. 5th of the innings from the bat, from the black bats, which are being used here, of course. Last ball of the over gives Huggins a strike. He's 29, it's 16 to Waldron, it's 71 for 2. 8 overs to go. Mike Haseman is mingling among the legends and others. We'll go down to him now.
Thank you, Coach. I've got one of the... Well, he's not playing today, actually, but he's a little bit frustrated at the moment. Of course, he's sitting on the fence, one of the boys from the USVI. It's Leroy Brown. Not necessarily bad Leroy Brown, but here he is. Leroy, what's the feeling in the camp at the moment? Just a bit behind the 8 ball at the moment.
Well, the feeling in the camp is pretty okay right now. Everybody just looking towards the target that we set for today game, so we can make everybody involved in it feel pretty happy. Okay, so you're an opening batsman. You're not getting a bit of a run today, but obviously you know the thoughts of the batsmen before they started. What target were your boys looking for? In our dressing room, we decided to aim for at least 170, 180. Okay, and you still think you can get there because you're in a little bit of trouble at this stage? I wouldn't really say that we are trouble at this present moment because knowing the batsman we got behind, we can actually get up there. Okay, so you got some attacking, aggressive batsmen to come? Yeah, we got guys like Dale Africa, Mark Vitalis, Hamish Anthony. Those guys who hit us off the ball. Plus we got Junior Anthony as well, a very good stroke player off the ball. And I know that them guys will actually take us back to the total that we decided that we needed. Okay, and wickets in hand. Desmond Haynes was talking to me before. Wickets in hand is crucial, and we're almost 13 overs in with 7 overs to go. Yes, we know that we should actually hold our wickets and get the runs. But like I told you, with the skipper and Clifford Walwyn out there, we can actually get to the target because they're 2 very good batsmen. The skipper's going to be very important. Bad Leroy Brown, thanks for your time. It was nice meeting you this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike Haseman. Well, we've had Lionel Richie, we've had big bad Leroy Brown, and just stick around somewhere in this tournament. We could find Elvis Presley turning up. Well, that's a strange shot. He got hold of it, had to reach it. That's a superb bit of cricket to get a boundary for the captain, Huggins.
Had a good time too. Last ball of the over. He needed to do something, and he shimmied down the track a little bit and then realized it was a bit wide. And got a bat on it, and it flew away. Because it was the quicker ball, there was enough pace on it. Once it beaten that man at short third man, it was gone all the way. So 7 overs left. 79 for 2. Singer's